All right, brief stopover. Big plans for Cuba. Anyway, let's bring in distinguished historian Walter Russell Mead, Wall Street Journal columnist. He's got a column about it today, The Perils of Cuban Collapse. So, Walter, you're not as keen about it as President Trump is. Trump's got plans. New Treasury secretaries, new central bankers. Who knows what can happen?
A lot could happen. A lot could happen. But it's going to be complicated. Cuba is... Venezuela is tough economically. Venezuela's got oil. How does Cuba get out of the pit that it's in? And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying it's going to take a lot of work on the part of the U.S. government to find a path that will bring Cuba to the kind of prosperity and stability that it needs and we need for it.
You mentioned the Cuban diaspora. You have all the wealthy Cubans in Miami, for example. It's not the only place. I think you also mentioned Madrid, Spain. But wouldn't that, I mean, they are successful business people. They hate Fidel Castro and the revolution. Wouldn't they be there to provide, financial cushion, even business expertise, if the opportunity arose?
Yeah, if the Cuban government is willing to make the deep changes that would make it possible for Cuban Americans to invest in the island and feel some confidence, that would be a major engine for growth. But again, there are a lot of problems, some in U.S. law, where, for example, Cuban property that was confiscated under Castro has to be returned to the original owners, which is going to... That's a complicated thing because it's not clear who owns what in Cuba and how can you invest in property when there's no clear title. And, it's just can be a big bureaucratic hassle to try to sort this thing out. And we got to figure out how to keep the money and the investment rolling, even when some of these questions are still unresolved.
I mean, how stubborn is the current regime going to be? All right, we're witnessing a bunch of crazy people, in my view, in Iran, okay? Radical Islamists. They don't know civilized right from wrong, for heaven's sake. But Cuba's a little bit different, it seems to me. How bad can Marco Rubio, Secretary Rubio, go down there? He's been negotiating, with Castro's grandson. Is it possible that you could have, a bloodless change in the regime?
Larry, all things are possible. All things are possible. But these people have been saying no to the United States since Dwight Eisenhower was president. And, Jack Kennedy tried it resulted in the Bay of Pigs. We've repeatedly tried to bring change the relationship with Cuba. They have not yet been interested. Now, they are in a hole, a deep hole, and they're worried. But the history and the culture of the Cuban army and the Cuban Communist Party, let's just say they're a lot tougher than the Venezuelans. When the Venezuelans needed security, they called in the Cubans because there weren't any Venezuelans they thought could handle it.
So your point is Cuba will hang on, but the economy is in total freefall. And we've cut off, as far as I know, we've cut off the oil supply, or most of the oil supply. So I don't know how they can survive, Walter.
I agree. But, look at the example of North Korea during COVID. North Korea shut the whole country down. People were starving. And the North Koreans, didn't budge. And that was a demonstration to the world that no matter what sanctions anybody else puts on them, the North Koreans are going to keep going the way the Kim family wants them to do. Now, the Castros in Cuba are not as powerful in the country as the Kim dynasty is in North Korea. And the hunger, they can't just ignore the hunger and the discontent of people the way the North Koreans can, but their whole culture is going to tell them to push. Now, I want this to work. I've been to Cuba many times in the 90s. I've seen the system. I want change. I think it's better for us. It's better for them. And I am glad that the Trump administration is not just letting the Cuba rot. I'm glad they're working on it. I'm only trying to say it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of skull sweat to get us from where we are to where we need to be. And I hope they get us there.
Skull sweat. I like that. All right. Walter Russell Mead, as always, thank you for your insights. Appreciate it.